Hey everyone, Dave here with Beast Made Reviews, the channel where we like to talk about quality at different price points. Today I want to do a follow-up video on groove rings. Now many of you probably watched my previous video where I talked about these silicone rings, and these have been just a mainstay in my life. And so I wanted to give kind of a follow-up review, a long-term review, as well as go over some of their new products that they have. Now my initial video did actually really well, so I know there are a lot of people out there who are looking for alternatives to metal wedding bands. And I was in that same place. I had always played guitar without a metal wedding band after I got married, just because I hated the way that it felt when I played. And there are other people out there who need alternatives to wedding bands as well, like people in the military, people who work with their hands, different tradesmen, first responders, and athletes, and probably many, many other people who just want to look for a ring that is comfortable. They don't have to worry about it hitting anything, and they don't have to worry about any injuries if they accidentally hit their hand the wrong way. Now, before we get started into some of their new products in their line, let me talk about my experience with Groove Ring in the long term. I wear these all the time. I have to at least wear them once a week whenever I play guitar at my church, but I wear them more than that usually. If I find that I'm going anywhere that I don't want to wear a metal ring, or if I find that I'm doing anything with my hands, I usually just swap on the Groove Ring and I'm good to go. They've held up really, really well. They're very durable. They're still really comfortable, and mine really haven't stretched at all. I don't think they have. They still slip on and off really easily. They're pretty snug, as you can see, and I have just really enjoyed these a lot. In my first review, I talked about some of the benefits of groove rings, and one of the things that they're really known for is the fact that they have grooves on the inside of the ring that allow air and water in and out. As for the grooves on the inside, I can kind of take it or leave it. I don't really notice if there's any air or water flowing in and out necessarily, but the real reason that I usually recommend these is there's many styles to choose from, so you can get the right style or size or color that you really want. They feel great, and they have a lifetime warranty, or a 94-year warranty, as they say. It's a no BS warranty. If you lose it, if you stretch it, if you break it, they'll replace it. That's something that's really special. And then when you have a product that you stand behind like that, I usually recommend that to everyone, and I have. I recommend these a lot to my friends that are looking for a ring like this. And everyone that I've recommended them to that have bought them have loved them. So yeah, they're really great. And if you can get a ring like this that has a lifetime warranty, you don't have to worry about it. I think that's amazing. The asking price is around the $30 range. And I know some people think that's a little high, but I think that that's actually a fair price for what you get, especially for a ring that you're going to keep the rest of your life. I think that's a great value. And from my experience over the last year or two wearing these, they've been very, very durable. They've held up really well. They're still really comfortable, and they're just my go-to ring anytime I want to slip on something that's comfortable that's not my traditional wedding band. What's also great is they have what's called a try-on, where you can try 3 rings for 5 days for free. And then you keep the ones that you want, pay for those, and then return the other ones for free. You end up paying about $2 shipping it to you, which is not technically free, but I see what they're going for there. $2 is still a great deal. And of course, in that try-on, you have everything that they have. So you can try on different sizes, as well as different colors and things like that. All right, so now let's get to some of the new rings and new features that they have. One of the things that they did for free, which I really appreciate, is they just changed the little container for the rings. And I actually do keep my rings in a little container. I find it's easier to do it that way. Before, they were just these opaque containers, and that was fine too. I like that as well. But now they have a little clear window on there, which is even more convenient. You can see what ring you have. So if you have different rings in there, you don't have to open it up and see what's inside. You can just look at it at a glance. I think that's really great. It's a really great, ingenious improvement to the already great little case there. I'm notorious for forgetting my wedding band, so I like to have one of these in my glove box, so if I do forget my wedding band for any reason, I can actually look like I'm still married. All right, now let's get to some of the new products that they have. The first thing I want to talk about today are the new Apple Watch bands that they're making. Now, they're in the works of making other smartwatch bands as well, but the Apple Watch bands I know are already out, and they sent me these two for review, which I'm very thankful for, and I actually really love these. Now, they have them in 2 different widths, the 42, 44 millimeter, the wider size, and the 38 and 44 millimeter, as well as a longer size and a shorter size, much like the Apple Watch does. These feel great on the outside. They feel very similar to the Apple Watch, but they also feel very similar to the Groove rings. They're that kind of tactile, rubbery silicone that they have with no edges on there. Everything is very smooth. On the inside are the rings that Groove Life is known for, and those allow air and water in and out. Whenever I see a replacement for something that Apple makes or a replacement for a phone accessory, I'm always wary to see if there is any kind of quality issue. Sometimes the replacements for the name brand things aren't quite as good, but I will say that these are actually excellent. These are very, very good. They're very high quality. They feel great. They don't feel chintzy or cheap. They feel nice and comfortable when you wear it. I haven't had any issues with them, and I've been wearing it constantly for a few weeks now. One thing that I will note is that the sizes on these are a little bit different than the Apple Watches. The length on these long ones are slightly shorter than the long Apple Watch band. I don't have the small one to compare with the other small one. I'm assuming that it's slightly smaller than the other one. But even at its maximum length here, it's still very large. So I have no doubt that this will fit almost anyone. I had some initial reservations when it came to these. I wasn't exactly sure if these were even necessary, but then I started to realize the quality is just as good, if not better, than the Apple Watch bands. But the main thing that I think is the best point about these is that these still have the lifetime warranty that Groove Life is known for, and you don't see that from Apple at all. If you do anything to your watch bands, you're just up creek without a paddle. But if anything happens to these, they just send you a new replacement. Now this one right here is in their standard black color, which I really like, but they come with many different colors. They have both men's colors and women's colors, and they both look fantastic. I don't have any experience with any of the other colorful ones, but if they're anything like the band that I have now or anything like the other rings that I have currently, they're gonna be great. All right, now let's get to some of the new rings that they have. Like I said before, they only had a few different rings when I first reviewed them, and they have since just exploded with a lot of different colors and patterns and different ring materials, a lot of different stuff, which is really cool. The first one is just a double black ring, very similar to the black ring that I normally carry, except without a red interior, just double black. Next is part of their Heroes line of rings, and this one pays homage to the men and women in uniform who protect our country, whether you be in the military or if you're a police officer, they have different rings for that. And this one just has a simple American flag on the outside. Love that. Next is a ring in their Nomad series, and this one is made from a different material than the other ones are. This one is made of what they call high elastomer. Not really sure exactly what that material is. It seems to not stretch at all. So yeah, if you don't want one that stretches, definitely look for that one. Really cool marbled pattern on this one. Really love that pattern a lot. Next are two rings in their Dimension line, and this one kind of takes cues from texture and maps and different things like that. These are topographical map patterns. This black one right here has ridges that they fill in with a kind of just a white little fill there. I found that the lines come out, which I'm not sure why. I haven't had that happen with any of the other rings. I guess keep that in mind when you're looking at this black one with the white lines there. This green one is just the ridges, which I like a lot. I think that looks really great. From a distance, it looks just like a green ring, but when you look at it up close, you can see all that texture and topographical pattern there. That's really neat. Next are two in their NCAA line, and this was a thin one, so you can see what the thin size looks like on a ring finger there. And of course, this is Auburn, of course, War Eagle. So I really like that ring a lot. They have a lot of different teams. If you have your favorite team, they have an NFL line of rings as well. Now, the other Auburn ring that I have here is a mossy oak camouflage pattern on the outside. They teamed up with mossy oak camouflage. They also have a Cryptek camouflage that they have in some of their rings as well. And this ring is that high elastomer that I was telling you about, so it's a different feel. Next is their Edge ring, which is a completely different profile. It's flat with bevels on both sides. I really like this a lot. I love the way that it looks. And on this one, it's one of their Heroes line of rings with the American flag on the outside. Really cool. I love the traditional rings, but I also really like these flat bevel rings. Really cool. And the last ring that I have for you is this thin Mayhem ring. They have these, of course, in two different sizes, thin and standard. And this Mayhem ring has almost like a tire texture texture pattern on the outside, which is really cool. And these are made particularly for people who love working out and who really push the boundaries of how tough you need a ring to be. So there's a ring on the inside of this that actually keeps it from stretching, but that ring has a safety feature that if it stretches too far, it actually snaps. That's great because it won't cause any injury if you have it on and something happens. So if you need one to be extra tough that really, really won't stretch, go with these. So that's all I have. I pulled a full Thanos here, and I'm going to now infuse the Infinity Gauntlet of Groove Life rings. If you're looking for an unstandard, non-traditional ring that is comfortable, lightweight, breathable, and it won't impede with anything that you're doing or working or anything like that, definitely check out Groove Life. I'll have a link down below to them where you can get the best deal on your rings. Thanks again for watching, guys. What do you think of Groove Life rings? Let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll get to them as fast as I can. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with Beast Made Reviews. Bye.